If you cannot rely on the acting talent of your main actor, you can do one thing. Make him invincible. Markie Mark is a strange actor. When I see him in a trailer for a new movie, it feels like Russian roulette to me. Are we getting this Markie Mark, or are we getting this Markie Mark? Actors sometimes talk about being intimidated by other actors. Imagine sharing a scene with Daniel Day-Lewis. Or if we talk about real elite actors, the guy from Superbad. Every actor would be intimidated when sharing a scene with Hollywood legends. But nobody is ever intimidated by Markie Mark. And to prove this point, here's a hamster called Bing Bong. He will be acting in the next scene with Mark Wahlberg.
Holy shit.
Bing Bong.
What are you doing here?
Bing Bong.
Someone just got destroyed in that scene, and it wasn't the hamster. So if your main actor is the equivalent of throwing 2 every time you roll the dice, we as a young and naive audience put our hopes in the director and the screenwriter to rescue the movie. To at least put some good action in an action film. The union on paper looks good. It has the luxury of a solid cast. Halle Berry, great. J.K. Simmons, great. Markie Mark.
What? No.
What? No.
No.
You know me, I like to be proven wrong. And so I put my trust in whoever directed this movie. I cannot imagine him dying 3 times. I cannot imagine him fighting someone that does not pull out their gun. And I cannot imagine them coming up with 2 chase scenes that defy any rules of any logic. No studio would ever sign off on that. So fingers crossed, and here we go. Markie Mark plays Mike McKenna, a construction worker who is just a normal guy. He still lives with his mom. He does the snoo-snoo with his former teacher. You know, the things we all do. He is nothing but a normal guy. Just remember that. At the start of the movie, we follow Halle Berry and her team on a failed mission to get the MacGuffin. We are looking at trained killers, lethal assassins, but they forgot to read the spy manual. Never stand in the street when there's an active sniper. They all end up getting shot by the slowest sniper in history, and they managed to be surprised by it every time he shoots. The whole scene of her trying to get back to her team is clearly inspired by the Mission Impossible movie. And if you have seen that movie, one twist will not surprise you, because they also copied that twist. Hooray! Side note, when the people managing your operation wear sunglasses indoors at night, you know you work for a AAA agency. 10 minutes into the movie, and the music department is going haywire, dropping song after song. They clearly asked ChatGPT for a music suggestion for the scenes in Jersey, and they put in some guy called Spruce Springsteen because he's famous or something. Because her whole team got murdered, Halle Berry has the big brain move to try to recruit a normal guy. And lucky for us, Markie Mark is just that normal guy. So Markie Mark and Halle Berry meet in a bar. She is there to recruit him for her clearly AAA agency.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
HR never has to pay any salaries. They have history together. They once dated, but she left. Boring, nobody cares. But as we all know, women with a Karen haircut do not take no for an answer, so she just kidnaps him and takes him to London.
The only city in the UK is London.
Where he wakes up and is like a fish out of water. Because, just like every other normal guy, he never ever traveled. So now he is in London, and of course they let him drive on the wrong side of the road. How could he ever know to drive on the left side? He just forgot to Google that. In the next movie he will be going to Japan, and he will ask for a fork at a restaurant. Mark my words. After showing him their headquarters, with a lot of empty chairs for some reason, they have little to no effort to recruit him. And of course Mark says yes. So he goes into weeks of training. Fight training, gun training, and whatever this scene is supposed to be. Luckily for Netflix, the only people on this team that survived this shit show of bad missions perfectly meets their diversity quota. So let's celebrate that W for a few seconds. The first mission is in London.
Only city in the UK.
Halle Berry is Overwatch.
Observe the terrain far ahead, especially likely enemy positions and movements.
So this is Halle Berry, dressed in some next level camo and wearing her beanie sideways. Cool. And this is her point of view. Her only job is to look out for someone on any of the rooftops nearby. But she doesn't see anyone, even though they're clearly located in the middle of the screen, and I'm starting to realize why everyone in her team always dies. So after being completely surprised by someone 30 feet away from her, we end up in a gunfight and Markie Mark just runs away like a little girl. But of course, the plot of this movie catches up with him, and he ends up in a position he could never escape. While two gunmen aim their weapons at him, it is certain death. We look him in the eyes one last time. But then he's saved by the diversity crew. We rush through some filler scenes at the hotel, where they are trying to build up some romantic tension. Here's the chemistry meter on this scene. Then another mission going wrong. Who knew? Because this team is so expert. But then we move to Italy. Italia! The land of pizza. And repeat after me, Vespa scooters. In Italy is where things are going to go down. They will meet the bad guys face to face. And they will double cross, triple cross, crossfit, do a cross section to finally come to the moment we have all been waiting for. The only recognizable vehicle that they could afford to use. The Vespa scooter. So we get a chase scene with Markie Mark on a Vespa scooter outrunning two dirt bikes.
Pop quiz.
I'm not going to let this slide. So I paid some serious money for this advanced presentation to show the director could have done a little bit of research.
Versus. Fight!
Anyway, we then go from a generic fight scene to a generic shootout, and then to this masterpiece. As the predator jumps towards its prey, it makes the crucial mistake not to take out their firearm first.
I shoot my friend.
In the struggle that comes after that, a hip throw becomes an effective weapon, and the predator becomes the prey. The man gets a one-way ticket to heaven, and even in heaven, God will ask him why the hell he didn't pull out this gun. So at this point, the screenwriter is convinced that guns have cooldown periods, and so he makes Halle Berry jump from one roof to another, instead of just shooting the guy 10 feet away from her. So a small recap. While nobody knows how to use their guns, and Halle Berry clearly needs glasses, Markie Mark went from a normal guy to someone with a skill set even Ray from Star Wars would find suspicious.
Good at fighting and shooting, okay. But an expert at driving a vehicle? Who rides the sheet?
And then then the screenwriter's thinking, maybe we can launch him from the hood of a car. I'm sure he will survive that. He will not break his neck or anything. So we completely lost the screenwriter, but maybe the director can save this movie with a nice car chase. So he thinks very hard, and everyone is looking at him with hope in their eyes. What if we could have a chase between a Porsche and a Ford Focus? That sounds really fair and equal.
Give it up, Nikki!
You know I got the better car, Robs!
It's not about the car, baby! It's about the driver!
Clearly the red car had a better driver. So at this point, even Markie Mark is done with this movie, and he just tries to end it all. but the screenwriter writes him back into the story. But lucky for him, Halle Berry has been consistently killing her whole team, so maybe she could take him out of his misery. You would think so, but even crashing headfirst into another car while not wearing a seatbelt will not kill him, because he just steps out of the car as if nothing ever happened. Well, based on his shit talking, he got a little bit of memory loss.
Grown-ups talk, okay? This guy had all the combat training, right?
Yes.
All right, I'll let that slide.
But then again, this movie is so shitty, he cannot be blamed for forgetting half of it.
Hey, I'm gonna strangle you to death with my bare hands.
So they shoot the bad guy, he dies, they win, they save the world, they save the universe, they save the children, they make it a better place for you and for me. I could have been proven wrong, but I wasn't. Markie Mark almost saved this movie, with his extreme acting talent and his survivability. But even Netflix cannot deny what a mess this movie is. And we can all safely go to sleep, knowing they will take action accordingly.
And just for the record, I'm not making a move on you here.
Bing Bong.